Hey, it's your girl Raw Truth and Uncut. I'm coming back to you with part two of waiting right or waiting wrong. So I just want to begin to share with you. Sometimes we can walk close to a person or some people and we not really see who they really are. Sometimes when the enemy is in the midst and have us connected to a wrong relationship, uh, he will begin to allow you to see, or us to see, let me say us, he would allow us to see just the good parts of that person, you know, and the agenda. He would hide the real motive and the real agenda of the reason why he sent them from the start. But then God would allow that thing to run its course for so long, and then he will begin to start to show you that this isn't the right connection. He will begin to show you that you're on the wrong path. He will begin to show you and allow you to know in your spirit that I shouldn't have done this, or he will allow you to know the warning, before the destruction comes and happens, when we volunteer to put ourselves in certain situations and circumstances that God had not ordained for us. So I'm just saying on today, I began to lose my thought in the last video, what I was fixing to say before closing, but then after I ended the video, I began to know what I was going to say. The thought came back to me, and that's what it was. I was going to say that sometimes when we connect to the wrong people, it can be the right people, but the wrong time. It can be the right people, but the wrong motive in connecting. Let me say that sometimes that we can begin to think that a thing is for us, but then on down the line, God trying to show you, if we miss the warning signs, before we connect it, then guess what? We end up connecting and we can't see who they really are. Warnings came, but then you decide, or myself decide to say, okay, I'm going to try this anyway. And you done missed all the signs, and you know that you are overriding the power of the Holy Ghost, and you're ignoring what he's saying to you. Yeah, let me say to you, my friend, we can't begin to override the power of the Holy Ghost, because a lot of people are playing unfair when they are halted between two opinions, when they really don't know if they want to live saved or when they want to be saved all the way. Some relationships and some connections, God never intended for the individual to become a thing, or what word am I looking for? God never intended for you to be jump in the relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend, but he intended for you to begin to minister and show that individual certain things. It wasn't for you to connect sexually. It wasn't meant for you to begin to try to make it work, or see if it's going to work, or anything of that nature. The enemy has misled, some of us in this hour and in this season to certain connections that we have connected to. And then, when we get on down the line, it's too late. Why? Because we ignored the red flags, we ignored the stop signs, and we ran the red lights. So, we got to begin to stop, drop, and roll as if things are set on fire when God begin to give you something that's constantly bothering you in your spirit and not agreeing with you, and you study role playing in your mind. Okay, why am I doing this? How am I going to get out of this? Well, how you going to get out of it is you going to begin to draw back, and you going to begin to ask God to give you a way of an escape, because when the enemy comes in like a flood, he will lift up a standard against him. So with that being said, and some things have to run, its course, that we put ourselves in. So let me just say to you, we can't continue to put ourselves in certain situations trying to, appease the flesh, because the devil will keep us longer than we want to stay and take us farther than we want to go, and he don't care where he drop you off at. He gonna drop you off by way of the road of depression. He gonna drop you off by way of not understanding and not knowing which way to go and what to do, which is confusion. And God is not the author of confusion. He will drop you off by the way of the pathway of anxiety. He will take you down all these roads. He will lead you there and drop you off. And guess what? He gonna send back some more imps to begin to compile what's on whatever door that you open up. He gonna send forth some more imps to, guess what, to compile more up on you, and you continue to be stuck where you are. You gonna continue to not be able to move forward. You gonna not be able to hear the voice of God. You gonna not be able to know which direction you're going in. You're gonna be manipulated. You're gonna be controlled. Why? Because this is where the enemy have dropped you off, and he have left you there for dead. And guess what? He have even dropped some of you off down by the witch's path. And let me say, when he drop you off by the witch's path, baby, they come in full force in this hour and in this season. They ain't playing no games. The enemy ain't playing no games when he's sending you witches and warlocks your way to begin to delay the purpose that God have for you. He playing for keeps. He don't want you to get loose in your mind. He don't want you to be loosed in your spirit. He don't want you to be loosed in your body or your soul. He want to keep you confined to every shackle, every chain. But I'm telling you today, my friend, you got to get out of your own way and allow God to be God in this hour and in this season of your life. Why? Because the enemy is not playing fair. He's not going to warn you where he's taking you. But guess what? You must know those that you label among. Everything and everybody that's saying, Lord, Lord, is not saved. Everybody that's calling on the name of the Lord, he's on their lips, but their hearts are far from him. Why? Because it's so easy to venture off into sexual sin. It's so easy to venture off into the fulfillment of the flesh. It's so easy to venture off into the distractions in this hour and in this season. So you got to equip yourself, and you got to qualify yourself to hang around people that's going in the direction that you're going. You got to hang around. It's no time for you to try and pamper or try to lead and nurture a person that God never intended for you to begin to try to lead, nurture, and direct them into what's supposed to be. And you are in a relationship with this individual or these individuals. Let me tell you, it's not for you to groom them. That's not your job. Get out of God's way and allow God to groom the individual and take the individual through what they're supposed to go through and go where they're supposed to go to in this hour. Get out of their way and get out of your own way in this hour and in this season. Because guess what? If the relationship is not mutually beneficial, and if the relationship is just fleshly, it's going to die. It's not going to last. Why? Because light and darkness don't mix, and evil intents don't mix with light. So what's your motive? Know your motive for connecting to this individual. Know that you're wasting time, not just your time, but you're wasting God's time. You got to get out of your own way and allow God to be God. You got to allow God to perfect those things that's within you. If you were in a marriage and you have come out of that marriage and you're now divorced, you're now widowed, I'm a divorcee, but you got to allow yourself time to heal. You got to allow yourself time to get in the presence of God and see what God is saying unto you. You got to allow God to show you in the way that you should go. You got to go through your healing process in this hour and in this season of your life, because some of you are numb and you're walking around and the people around you can't even tell that you're numb. They don't know that you're full of pain. They don't know that you're hurting. They don't know that you really want to give up, but you got on this facade. You got on that mask that you strong and that you really going forward, trying to do this and do that for God. But guess what? You like a tingling brass and a sounding cymbal in this hour. You're talking loud but ain't saying nothing. Why? Because you're in the wrong lap. Ooh, Shaban da 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 bokosai. You're in the wrong lap, my friend. Begin to get out of the lap of the harlot. Get out the bed of the harlot and wash your feet. Get out of Jezebel's bed and pathway. Get out of your own way. We are our own worst enemy. We can self-sabotage ourselves. We can self-sabotage our futures. We can self-sabotage our intended targets and journey. Why? Because we are allowing our flesh to speak louder than the Spirit of God. Get out of your own way in this hour and in this season, my friend. Don't allow the enemy to keep you out there any longer thinking that you're pleasing God. It doesn't matter if y'all going to church together. It don't matter if you looking for a prophet or a prophetic word together. It doesn't matter if y'all praying together. It does not matter if you're seeking the Lord together. Let me tell you, if God has not called and ordained that thing to be so, you're just really going around and around the circles. Around and around the mulberry bush, as the kids say on this little cartoon that I heard. Around and around the mulberry bush. Looking for a different result. It ain't coming. It's not fruitful. It's not mutually beneficial. You can be pouring in and not getting nothing back out. You can be pouring in spiritually, but you getting a natural result of how I want to put this. You're pouring into them spiritually, but they're pouring into you naturally, and that's mixed signals. They're not comprehending on the level that you're on. They're just a babe in Christ. You got to know that you feed on meat, and they're feeding on milk. You're too advanced for them. Yes, you can pour into them. Yes, you can feed them. But the thing of it is, you cannot be sexually active with them and try to feed them spiritually. It don't mix. And God ain't in that. Come from your backsliding ways and allow God to perfect that thing in you. Allow God to make the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth. Get out of your own way in this hour and in this season. Begin to move spontaneously. You're hurting and nobody around you see it. But God done allowed your God-ordained spouse to see what's really going on in you. And you just need to be ushered into the presence of the Lord. You need to be ushered into prayer. You need to be ushered and shifted into the change that you want to see. You need to be shifted to the next level and the next dimension in God. And the only way you're going to do that is you draw back from everybody. Stop trying to please everything and everybody and locate you in this hour, because you are a lost cause, my friend. Don't allow the enemy to keep you out there in bondage. You've been out there too long. Now it's time for you to stand tall and strong. I'm telling you, get out of your own way. Don't allow your flesh to continue to keep you out the will of God. God knows the plans and thoughts that He has for you. They're good and not evil, to bring you into an expected end. So allow God to be God in this season. You ought to be tired right now with no directions, no instructions, looking for something that is not there. Allow God to perfect that thing that concerneth you. Allow God to lead, guide, and direct you into all truth. Get out of your own way for such a time as this. I truly thank and appreciate God for the time and opportunity that I have had in making this video. I truly thank and appreciate God being awesome as He is and giving me the strength and the willpower that I need to continue to move forward. Let me say today, my friend, focus forward. Starve your distractions and feed your focus. And allow God to lead, guide, and direct you in the way that you should go in this hour and in this season of your life. I don't want you to miss what God has for you in this season. So if you begin to just seek Him right where you are, guess what? He'll begin to fulfill every void that you have. Sometimes we can hold up our own blessings by standing in our own way. We're our own worst enemy. We self-sabotage and talk ourselves out of certain situations and certain things when God is ready to bless us. But let me just say today that we got to get out our own way. And I'm only speaking from experience. I can't stand in my own way in this hour and in this season any longer because I done got tired. I want to see what God has for me. And I'm going to go get it by any means necessary. I'm going to triumph over my enemies in this hour, and I'm going to walk into my place of victory. I truly thank and appreciate God. I thank and appreciate God for moving in such a strategic and profound way. I thank and appreciate God for the time and the opportunity that I can come before you as the raw truth and uncut mouthpiece for God. I thank and appreciate God for everything that He's doing in this hour and in this season in our lives. Let everything be done decent and in order. And out of all our getting, let's get an understanding in this hour and in this season of our lives. Let's not stand in our way, in our own way in this hour and in this season. So whatever God tell you to do, baby, begin to move out of your own way and let it happen. Make it happen, because the enemy don't want you to get there. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that you'll be well on your way, because God is going to lift up a prophetic mouthpiece to speak into your spirit in this hour and in this season, to help influence you and help push you and motivate you and encourage you to where you need to be. This have been yours truly, Raw Truth and Uncut. I thank you for your time and the opportunity once again to come before you, gracing you with the presence of God. And I will continue to be mindful and prayerful of those of us that's waiting. Some of us are the lady in waiting, and some of us are the men in waiting. But whatever God tells you to do in this hour and in this season, make sure you do it decently and in order. Do it with excellency, because when we was in the world, we did everything with excellency. So make sure that you do it to the best of your ability, no matter what it is. Be blessed. Until next time.